Welcome back students. Now we are going to discuss about water pollution. Water is very important part of our biological system. We or any other animal or even plant cannot survive on earth without water. So it is very important to maintain a pure water which is free for contamination. So now we will study that how and when the water get contaminated and what is the effect if we drink impure water. So let's start its study. Water pollution. So water pollution is the process of contamination of water of natural or artificial resource with harmful substances. And we know that water is very important part of our body. We need water for drinking. So quality of drinking water is very important for human welfare. The pollution of water by sewage has been linked to spread of diseases such as cholera, typhoid, fever. That means if we don't drink clean water, it will result in serious diseases and health effect. And mainly water pollutants are first of all microorganisms, and the main source for them is domestic sewage. Next is organic waste material which is mixed with water through domestic sewage, animal waste, decaying animals, plants and discharge from food processing factories. There are some plant nutrients which are mixed with water and increase the water pollution level, which are added from chemical fertilizers. Another class of pollutants is toxic heavy metals, which includes heavy metals like lead, mercury, etc. And the source of these toxic heavy metals is industries and chemical factories. Sediments are another important pollutants, water pollutants, and the source is or erosion of soil by agricultural and strip mining. Pesticides also cause water pollution, and the source of pesticides are obviously chemicals used for killing insects, fungi and weeds in agriculture. Radioactive substances are also important water pollutants, and the sources are mining of uranium containing minerals. Heat acts as a water pollutant as if the heat increases, what will happen that the amount of dissolved oxygen in water will get decreased, because solubility of gases in liquid decreases with increase in temperature. So if temperature is high, the amount of dissolved oxygen in water will be less, which would be harmful for aquatic life. Okay, now let's discuss them one by one. Heavy metals such as cadmium, lead, mercury are known as heavy metals, and they may be present in industrial or mining waste which is thrown into rivers. These metals are highly toxic. Cadmium and mercury can cause damage to kidney, liver, brain, central nervous system also. And all of these metals are cumulative poisons. The body does not metabolize them, and they does not eliminate them through from the body by natural processes, and that's why their concentration in the body keeps on increasing. Detergents and fertilizers are also water pollutants, and these may contain phosphate as additives. The additive phosphates or phosphorus to water, the addition of phosphorus to water in the form of phosphate anion encourages the formation of algae, which reduce the dissolved oxygen concentration in water and which is harmful for aquatic life, fishes. The process is known as eutrophication. That means when soap or detergent or any sewage which is rich in minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, it is thrown into river, it increases the concentration of these minerals which are very favorable for the growth of algae. So what happens with the passage of time, the population of algae in that water body keeps on increasing, and after some time the water body almost gets disappear and we only see the colonies of algae in that water body, and this process is known as eutrophication. Another pollutant is acid, that means pH. It is deadly to most forms of aquatic life. Water downstreams from a mine may be contaminated by acid mine drainage, the result of microbial oxidation or discharged waste material in the mine site, or the acid rain may also increase the pH, decrease the pH of water, that means it may make it acidic, which is harmful for aquatic life fishes. Acid mine water principally contains sulfuric acid produced by oxidation of iron pyrites. Industrial wastes and acid rain may also contribute to the acidity of natural water. Now there are some standards of drinking water. The quality of water is a vital concern for mankind since it is directly linked with human welfare. So there are some international standards of drinking water which must always be obeyed if water is to be used for drinking process, and these are, first of all, fluorides. Soluble fluorides are often added to the drinking water to bring up to a concentration of 1 ppm, and this concentration is within agreed safety limits and has been shown to protect teeth against decay. Fluorine is required, if fluorine is present in this much of concentration, 1 ppm, that is okay. So this is the standard for fluoride, it must be in concentration of 1 ppm. But high concentration of fluorides are poisonous and they are harmful for both bones and diseases if they are present over 10 parts per million. If they are present in amount more than 10 parts per million, they cause a problem which is known as fluorosis of the teeth and bones. Next is lead, a heavy metal. For this, actually it is the standard of drinking water is 50 ppb. For drinking water gets contaminated with lead when lead pipes are used for transportation of water. The limit of concentration of lead ions in drinking water is 50 ppb. If water is relatively acidic and lead precipitates are used for water transport, then water is liable to get contaminated with lead, which is very poisonous if drank along with water. Next is pH, as we have discussed that the pH of drinking water must be in range 5.5 to 9.5. A decrease in pH of the water increases the solubility of metal ion, that means chances of contamination. Sulfates are harmless at moderate level, but when they are present in large amount, that means more than 500 ppm, it is they have a toxic effect, they have harmful effect. Similarly, nitrates, excess of nitrate in drinking water can lead to a problem which is known as blue baby syndrome. It also may be linked to stomach cancer. Although this link has not been proved, but still it is thought by some people that it is linked with stomach cancer. A maximum limit of 50 ppm for nitrate ion in drinking water has been set. And other metals, the maximum recommendation levels of the common metals in drinking water are zinc could be up to 5 ppm, it is okay. If iron is present at 0.2 ppm, that's safe. Similarly, for manganese it is 0.05 ppm, copper is not harmful if it is present up to 3 ppm, cadmium up to 0.005 ppm, and aluminium is okay if it is present in 0.2 ppm. More than this would be harmful. Another term is biochemical oxygen demand. Actually, biochemical oxygen demand is a tool which is used to find out that is water fit for drinking or it is polluted. And what is actually biochemical oxygen demand? We know if there is some organic matter dissolved in water, obviously there some microorganisms would act on that organic matter present in river or water body, and they will decompose those into simple substances. Now this breakdown of organic matter present in water needs oxygen. That means if there is greater amount of organic matter or pollutant present in water, the demand of oxygen would be higher. So greater the biochemical oxygen demand of a water sample, greater is the pollution in that. So the measure of total contamination caused by compounds which can be oxidized in the presence of microorganisms is biochemical oxygen demand. BOD is taken as realistic measure for water quality. Clean water would have BOD value less than 5 ppm, whereas highly polluted river water could have BOD value of 17 parts per million or even more. A large amount of organic and inorganic compounds, however, are resistant to the microbial oxidation. They therefore don't contribute to BOD through their presence makes water unfit for consumption. That means BOD is useful for only those pollutants which can be decomposed by organic microorganisms. Okay, so BOD is taken as realistic measure of water quality, but although it does not give the exact idea for all the pollutants, because there may be some pollutants which are not decomposed by microorganism in the water, and that is why they do not contribute to the biochemical oxygen demand. That is why we use chemical oxygen demand, and it is the amount of oxygen required to oxidize and stabilize the organic and inorganic matter present in certain volume of water sample. It is measured by using a chemical oxidizing agent. Okay, in COD, chemical oxygen demand determination, water sample is treated with a known quantity of an oxidizing agent, and usually it is potassium dichromate in acidic medium. This reagent oxidizes most of the polluting substances, including those which are resistant to the microbial oxidation also. The remaining potassium dichromate is determined by back titration with suitable reducing agent like more salt. For concentrations of potassium from the concentration of potassium dichromate consumed, the amount of oxygen used in the oxidation may be calculated using the chemical equation. This is the chemical equation of the titration, and the result are expressed in terms of amount of oxygen in parts per million that would be required to oxidize the contaminants. This is called COD. Now there are some problems based on this. BOD of pond is connected with microbes and organic matter, microbes, or none of these. Yes, it is connected with microbes and organic matter, because microbes act on organic matter, they release, and for this they require oxygen. The pH of drinking water should be, what is the range of drinking water for being it suitable, and it is 5.5 to 9.5. If the pH of drinking water is in this range, it is okay for drinking, otherwise it is unfit for drinking. So students, in this video we discussed about water pollution. Now we know that what are the human activities which actually contaminate water. We know what is chemical oxygen demand, we know what is biological oxygen demand, and what are the materials which actually cause water pollution, and how we can prevent the water from being contaminated. In our next video we will move to soil or land pollution. So keep watching.